Ewan, what are Rockstar doing?
They're hurting me.
They wound us deep. This broke yesterday afternoon in the UK about a new version of Red Dead Redemption, quote unquote. We'll get back to it. Not as new as many people would have wanted, but I want to break a few things down with this. Like I said, Rockstar announced a remaster of Red Dead Redemption for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. They've said it'll also work on PlayStation 5, but it is just the PS4 version running on a PS5. It's not an actual new-gen version of the game. The catch, though, the overall reason that a lot of people are very pissed with this is that you have to buy the game again. It doesn't recognize an old PlayStation 3 digital purchase. You have to buy it again on PlayStation 4 to then play it on PlayStation 5 if you want. And it's just one of those things where Rockstar also delisted Red Dead from the PlayStation Plus service last October, again, to force you to buy it again. And the price tag is full price. It's $50, it's $50. It's just it's a bad time all around. So it's one of those things where they could have done a lot better, and it's more in line with the GTA Definitive Edition, which was another full price release that launched genuinely on fire. Ewan, what do you think before we break down some quotes?
This story unleashed my gamer rage yesterday, and I don't consider myself a big gamer boy.
No, you're pretty calm.
But I love me Red Dead Redemption. I love me Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably my favourite game of all time.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to playing Red Dead Redemption because obviously we had the rumours, a while ago, then, Rockstar working on like a full remaster, /remake, and then there was also reports, I think it was Kotaku a few years back, were like, oh, they've binned that off because it's all hands on GTA 6, and it's just... This is another sad installment of the Rockstar is bad saga, and it just
the worst saga.
Very much, transparently, I think maybe the worst thing that they've done. To me personally, just obviously they've done a lot of bad things, or
there is a list now,
crunch, everything else really bad. But the idea that they can charge $49.99 for a port
of a 2010 game.
A port of a 2010 game, which you can pick up, which I bought secondhand, the Game of the Year edition for Xbox 360 in like 2014 for like a tenner from Granger Games.
Shout out to Granger Games.
It's $49.99. They're only charging this because they can, because they know that PlayStation people cannot play the original Red Dead Redemption on the PS4 or PS5. That is the only reason why this thing has this price point, and it is shocking to me that they can do it.
It's a weird thing for them to be like, right, we should put Red Dead 1 on Switch. Like, yeah, sure, you put GTAs on Switch, why not put Red Dead on there as well? And then for whatever reason, they were like, we should probably put it on PlayStation as well. But then along the way, like I said, they had to delist the version that was available for streaming and then not honor your previous purchase if you bought a digital version anyway. I think that's where it gets notably weird and nefarious and businessy, etc. I want to bring in, speaking of business, some quotes from
President Business
himself, Take-Two Strauss Zelnick, speaking back in 2021. Mostly this seems to be a spin-off of the conversation happening around Mafia Definitive Edition at the time, because that was a very well-received remake/remaster, brilliant version of the game. So he was doing a conversation, this was written up by VGC, Video Game Chronicle, where he was referring to ports and their attitude towards them. And he said, remastering has always been part of the strategy. We've done differently than the competition. We don't just port titles over, we actually take the time to do the very best job that we can, making the title different for the new release, for the new technology that we're launching it on. We improve the technology, we upgrade the visuals, we make performance enhancements. That's why I think our remastered titles typically do so well. That's from Strauss Zelnick, the parent company of Rockstar, being Take-Two. They've not stuck to that whatsoever. The GTA Definitive Edition was terrible. Now we have this. It's just one of those things where, and you mentioned Xbox before, right now, even if you have a 360 disc of Red Dead Redemption and you put it in a Series S or a Series X, that game will run at 4K 30 FPS. It's already an automatic upgrade on that platform, so why can't they just do the bare minimum over on at least PlayStation?
Everyone with an Xbox Series X right now, it's an Xbox One, just anything you can play it, it's perfectly fine. It's Red Dead Redemption.
It should honour the fact that you've bought a license key or whatever the hell you want to call it for that game overall. That's the biggest problem on PlayStation. To throw another thing in here is the wider discourse around the Red Dead remake, or what people assume was going to be the Red Dead remake. Like you mentioned before, there were various things leading up to it, like either the presence of some locations in Red Dead Redemption 2 that were from Red Dead 1, there was a new version of Red Dead rated in Korea, there was the logo for a Rockstar Presents version of Red Dead on the website, on Rockstar's website, so there was a lot of things pointing at the direction of, this will be a cool thing. Instead, it's just the Switch version, and then it's on PS4, and here we are.
And now here we are.
I don't like it.
And it made me feel really sad. It's like, even with like the LucasArts, like Star Wars remasters that we've got on recently, they're kind of basically like HD ports. But there's more going into those than, what we've gotten with this. Like Rockstar is a huge company. There is no reason why they can't allocate resources. If you're going to re-release Red Dead Redemption. Okay, I get it. If you're gonna just want to re-release Red Dead Redemption, give it its appropriate price point. Like, don't make it $49.99 because it is literally just the same game.
Depends how much you've done to it. Yeah.
If you want to charge $49.99 for Red Dead Redemption, remake it, remaster it. Like, there's no reason for this to cost what it does, and it's ridiculous. And I have no idea how long this price point is going to stick, and how many people actually go out and buy it, because there are lots of people out there who haven't played the OG Red Dead who are probably just going to want to pick this thing up anyway. But it is a rotten deal.
Well, the thing is, overall, like, there's more they could do with Red Dead Revolver for one. If you talk about like bringing together all the Red Dead stuff, Red Dead Revolver is one of the PlayStation 2 classics that you can get. It's PS4 backwards compatible on PS5. But Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously one of the most like accolade games that won all the awards as a sentence. One of your favorite games. Yeah. It's one of those things where they could do a next-gen version of that as well, or a next-gen patch for it, or whatever you want to call it. Just bundle those things together, do the bare minimum for that game, and upgrade Red Dead Redemption 1, like Last of Us did, to smooth those things over.
Yeah, it's kind of really frustrating as well, because obviously the other year they basically shuttered Red Dead Online, which had so much potential and really deeply upset me. Again, like, if you are a fan of Rockstar games, but GTA isn't the main draw for you, which is me, I know I'm a rare breed, but like, every single move that has come out recently has just been a huge disappointment. Like, of course we're all looking forward to GTA 6. Of course, the hype behind that game is ridiculous. But at the same time, like, I think Rockstar's most interesting when they're leaning into other stuff, and it really sucks to see Red Dead get treated this way. Like,
I tell you what's worth throwing in here is that the new version of Red Dead, which is the 2010 port, whatever, this new one that we're talking about, doesn't have multiplayer. It does if you play on Xbox because it's the original game servers, but this new version isn't shipping with multiplayer. So it is a £50 price point, a $50 price point for less game. That's another wrinkle to how bad of a deal this thing is. We should talk about Rockstar overall, though, because like you said, the recent string of moves that they've done stand in such contrast to how they used to be perceived. They used to be headed up by Dan and Sam Houser. Sam Houser's still there, but Dan Houser, after writing, I would argue, his masterpiece in Red Dead Redemption 2, left the company along with like Laszlo Jones, various creative minds over the years, Leslie Benzies. They all left over the last sort of 10 years, if you want to go back long enough, to the point where the Rockstar of today is like a shell of its former self. It feels very money grubby. It feels very, we are the GTA Online company, and every now and then we fart something else out to get a bit more money. And that's just kind of it. It's like this expulsion with a £50 price tag on it.
There is a £50 expulsion.
Floating in amongst the clouds.
That's we can put that on the box art.
But I think, overall, when it comes to Rockstar's general perception, you mentioned GTA 6 and everything, how bad does this have to get before people actually don't really get that excited about GTA 6? I feel like when everything leaked a couple of years ago, obviously there was a lot of people thinking that was the finished game and whatever, obviously it wasn't. But at the same time, when we talk about GTA 6, is that just such a tired talking point now? Because it's like, are Rockstar ever going to deliver on that?
People have been talking about GTA 6 for, well, it's been a decade since GTA 5 came out, is it September this year?
I think so,
yeah, like, we've been talking about GTA 6, because people talk about GTA 6 as soon as GTA 5 was out, We've been talking about
We're in the content business
for 10 years now, and it is just a shame that, like, if you look back from that period of Rockstar between 2008 to 2000 and when did Red Dead Redemption 2018? Like, you had like so many big AAA games come out. You had GTA 4, you had LA Noire, you had obviously Red Dead Redemption 2. If you look at Rockstar from 2013 to 2023, you got GTA 5, you got GTA 5, you got Red Dead Redemption 2, and then
a shinier version of GTA 5.
Another GTA 5. So it's just kind of, it's not particularly encouraging. Obviously, there's a whole other conversation here about video game development taking longer and longer, people to already preparing for the next generation of consoles and stuff. But by the time GTA 6 comes out, is it going to be the game that people have been kind of hyping up and fantasizing about in their brains for so long? And is it worth the cost of making us pay $49.99 for Red Dead Redemption?
I think that's where I come down, because I'm just like, how can a company like Rockstar with such a legacy and such an easily identifiable and Googleable immediate history not respect that, not do right, but in the bare minimum case? It's also worth chucking in here that they are outsourcing these ports. It's not like they're doing them in-house. The GTA Definitive Edition was given to Grove Street Games, who were known for the mobile versions of GTA, and obviously that launch version of that game was a complete mess. They used AI to upscale various textures, and obviously they got things wrong. In Red Dead's case, I forget the name of the studio that is doing it, but it's not Rockstar. It's another outsourced dev who are responsible, I think, for like Fallout 76 ports and things like that. So it's, again, you're not really putting the time in a way that old Rockstar would have done. And maybe it doesn't need it. Maybe it's just a release of a game on a console that didn't have it before, like Nintendo Switch, and there's a version on PlayStation. But I would argue that going down the money grubby route of forcing people to pay again does make it pretty damn bad.
Yeah,
I think they could do a lot better by people.
I would agree. I would throw my hat down the ground and shoot it if I had the cowboy in me, but I don't have him in me.
A 6 shooter. But yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments below. I'll put a little video here about Rockstar's history that you can check out as well. I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
And I've been Ewan.
Regretting everything, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Yeah!